everyone, this is Anna Runyon from ClassyCareerGirl.com, and today in my networking challenge I'm interviewing Ashley Ranger. Ashley is the president of Excella Marketing. She's a social media guru. She was at the forefront of social media since the beginning, and she was the youngest person ever to manage the social media division at the Universal Music Group. So thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. Okay, so I want to get started with your expertise of social media. So
Right.
how can people, young professionals, use social media for their success?
Well, yesterday I actually did an internship panel at USC, and I told the interns that were there the same thing that I'm going to tell you, which is what's great about social media is you have the ability to use it for personal use and learn the ins and outs of how the platforms work, which is going to put you at a really great advantage in the workplace. If you really know things like the Facebook algorithm and how to use hashtags and things like that, you're going to know a lot more than the average, just kind of basic user. So I've been telling people to start building your own personal brand on social media so that you'll learn some principles that you can apply towards business, and also use it as a great networking tool once you kind of established yourself, and it'll help you find jobs, it'll help show that you're an authority in the social media sphere, and you'll learn how to use the platforms.
Okay. So how do you recommend learning? Just kind of using it and figuring it out, or like books, or what do you suggest?
Yeah, I mean, books are always great. There's a ton of literature out there, and not even just books, but actually just online, surfing around and reading articles like on Mashable and things like that. But actually just setting up profiles on different accounts or different platforms, like Pinterest is one of the up-and-coming ones. So sign up for Pinterest, play around on there, add all your friends, start following businesses and seeing what they're doing on Pinterest, and just get really acclimated to how these platforms work and what they're used for, and it'll be invaluable knowledge for you to use in the future.
Okay. One of the topics that my readers always want to hear about is how you got to your position. So you've had many amazing jobs, Universal Music Group, Globe Shoes, Lucky Strike Entertainment. How did you get there, and how did you get those jobs?
Well, I knew from an early age that I wanted to work in marketing. So I started doing internships when I was, I think, 16, maybe even 15.
Okay.
So I got a really early start in the career world. I did like 5 or 6 different internships because I really wanted to build a solid resume before I stepped into the next level. I wanted to get a better job than just an entry-level job, and it ended up working out very well. During my internships, I was actually able to get a lot of hands-on experience with some of the new social media tools that were coming up at that time. MySpace was getting bigger and bigger, so I learned how to use MySpace. This was a while ago, so I learned how to use MySpace, and when I went to Universal, I actually started off in a different kind of position. I was helping doing some production stuff with them, and they found out that I had the expertise to do their MySpace, and so they let me take that over because none of the execs at Universal knew how to use it. So it was really kind of serendipity, but also, due to a lot of hard work. So.
Okay, that's neat. So did you do a lot of networking within the company once you got there?
Networking was something that I didn't really learn and appreciate until more recently, more within the past couple years, especially since owning my own business. When I was younger, I was trying to balance that work-life, that balance that everyone tries to get. And so I wasn't necessarily going out of my way after work to, really go to networking events and things like that. It wasn't a huge priority for me, even though I loved my career and I wanted to further myself. But once I did figure that out, that can be a huge element to, one person can open up so many doors to you.
Right.
I really, really like networking now. So.
Yeah. So how did you make the decision to start your own company?
Well, it was kind of by chance, but I've had entrepreneurial spirits for a long time. I've always wanted to have some kind of business of my own. For a while, I thought I would actually have like some kind of Etsy store. I used to do a lot of little handmade items on the side just as a fun passion project. So I always thought I'd do something like that and just market myself with the experience that I'd gotten. But I met my business partner a couple years ago. He owned Excella, and Excella had a creative department. And my experience was very synergetic with what they were doing with building websites and doing branding and doing print materials. And they were looking for someone who had marketing expertise. So it kind of just, naturally evolved from there. When we started working together, we started to see that the clients that they had were really interested in what I had to offer. We started hiring some people to do in-house social media here, and then split it off into its own company, and the rest is history. And now, we have 30 employees. So it's grown really fast, and it's been really great, but, we kind of just stumble onto it. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what would your advice be to someone who's just starting out, who maybe has an idea of a business but doesn't know where to start?
Well, there's so many tools out there at your disposal right now, which is great with the internet age that we're living in. It depends on what kind of business you want to open, but it's always a good idea to start really small and make it manageable to begin. So if you have an idea, think about the most basic elements that you can start doing to get that idea to grow, and look at resources online. Like LegalZoom is a really good resource to just learn about certain legal aspects of actually having a business, because those are the kind of the foundations. If you do have a product that you make, that you created, like I said, Etsy is a great resource to just put up a shop and start doing your own social networking and social media marketing to bring attention to that shop. There's also obviously those social media platforms that can help you get an audience and get people excited about your ideas. Kickstarter is out there for people, which is a great way to raise funds if you need capital for a project. So, really just kind of understanding that there's so many things out there that are built to help you be able to take your idea and make it into a reality, and doing the research necessary to know what those tools are, and just taking that step and getting the ball in motion and actually moving towards your goals, and not just having it be a dream.
Okay, I love that. So this is a question I ask at the end of all my interviews. What is one thing that you wish you would have known as a young professional woman?
Well, going back to what we just talked about with networking, I couldn't be more of a proponent of networking now. I've met so many amazing people over the last couple of years, and even just like out at a restaurant having dinner and randomly meeting someone at the table next to me has turned into a client that we work with to such a large capacity that it just shows that being open all the time to what other people do and how it might intertwine with what you do, and keeping those relationships up is so vital. You need to build that support network around you, and you also need your customer base, and you need to find quality employees to work with. So all of that can be accomplished through networking. So just really kind of getting out of your comfort zone and looking into what kind of networking events are around you, and just diving in, and things will come out of it that are really beneficial.
Okay, I love that. I'm a big proponent of networking on my blog. So definitely I agree with you. So how would you advise someone who may be nervous or shy and scared to go to a networking event? What would be your advice to them?
Well, that was actually something that I had to deal with. I wasn't really the kind of person that could easily just walk up to someone and introduce myself and tell them about, my business and what I had to offer. I kind of waited for people to come to me at first. And really, it's just making that first step and actually going and saying, this is something that I want to do. So even if I'm nervous, you go the first time, maybe you're shaking and you're nervous, but the second time you'll be less nervous, the third time you'll be less nervous, and it's just talking to people. So if you can talk to people, you can network. It's not a scary thing. And another thing that I realized over the past couple of years, now that I am a business owner, is that there's really no difference between you and someone who owns a business. They might have more experience than you, but they don't have any qualities that you don't have. So look at people on an equal level. Don't be intimidated, and know that even if you're beginning your career, you still have a lot to offer someone. Right,
definitely. Okay, so where can people find out more about you online?
You can find us on our Facebook page. We actually, one of our services that we provide here is, we call it Facebook websites, where we put all of our information onto our Facebook page and apps. So if you go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Excella, and then MKTG for marketing, you'll find out, the services that we offer, the clients that we have, and more about our company.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So this is Anna Runyon from classycareergirl.com.